Welcome to the typical Skeptic podcast, where we dive deep, you decide. Questioning the matrix from UFOs, where the shadows unknown reside. Rob Kalil busting myths like ghosts in the night. Paranormal pros, secret space ops, yo, we keep it real, no fright. Typical skeptical, seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Aliens, Anunnaki, black ops in disguise. From abductions to ancient scripts, we flip the script wide. TSP style, mile after mile, truth can't hide. Hold up, TSP crew assemble, we dismantle the fable. My lab's targeted souls breaking out of the stable. Darkman howling, Bigfoot prowling, cryptids in the mist. Mandela the fifth twist in reality, can't resist the twist. Soul trap snapping, reincarnation mapping, holographic dreams, near death visions, out of body missions, waking up the teams. No censorship here, we fear no elite scheme. Conspiracy kings ringing bells, hear the freedom ring. The skeptical seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Extraterrestrials, interdimensional highs.
Welcome to Typical Skeptic Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I'm really excited to have my guests back tonight. Returning, we have Jerry Cabazzuto and Lio, the dynamic duo. Lio is a Pleiadian contactee. I would say Jerry's a social justice advocate. She's recovered from SRA and she's very big in the natural law community. Leo's big in the extraterrestrial contact Pleiadian. Here, I'll read what I wrote. I wrote, tonight, returning guests Jerry Cabazzuto and Lio Vans joined the Typical Skeptic Podcast for an important investigation into spiritual warfare, discernment, updated energetic maps, and practical methods of spiritual protection. Jerry Cabazzuto is an experiencer, disclosure advocate, survivor of satanic ritual abuse, and founder of soundpath.org. Her work examines natural law, objective morality, personal sovereignty, societal conditioning, and systems she believes interfere with humanity's spiritual development. Lio Vans describes himself as a Pleiadian contactee whose experiences have led him to investigate non-human intelligence, humanity's hidden origins, and spiritual forces influencing our world. How can we distinguish genuine spiritual experiences from misinformation, manipulation, and fear? Are some of the spiritual teachings designed to weaken discernment? Can maps reveal energetic strongholds, portals, grid systems, locations connected to spiritual activity? And most importantly, what practical measures can people use to protect themselves when becoming consumed by these things? Tonight's discussion will have a myriad of these things. So join us as we're about to go deep with Jerry and Lio, and I'm going to add them to the stage now. And I'm really happy to have them. There's Jerry and Leo's other stage. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming back on. How is everybody?
Honored to be back. And Lio is actually not, well, he is a contactee, but also a changeling. So he, Lio, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
First of all, thank you very much for having us on the show again.
Absolutely.
I can talk about me being a changeling, although we did speak about it before many times.
Yeah. What's the difference between, real quick though, for people that are finding out about you for the first time, Lio? Because like a lot of new people tune into my show. Like, what is a changeling as compared to like a regular starseed or contactee or walk-in, or what's the difference?
No, actually, that's the actual definition of a starseed, the changeling. And usually people think that if they are related in any way to extraterrestrials, then they are starseeds. But actually, that's not the case. The thing is, it's not that they are not related at all. They're just not born among the stars. Their soul went through several lifetimes in the stars, but in this specific lifetime, they were Earthborn. When someone in this specific lifetime is not Earthborn, That's a starseed or a changeling. The changeling is more about the action. Like has to be an active action of an extraterrestrial switching the original 5D body of a human body with an alien one.
Yeah. Wow. So you're like encompassing an alien body, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Jerry, did you want to start off? What were you going to get into tonight? You guys did some investigating in my city and other places, and yeah, tell me what's going on, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Leo and I have been friends for a while now, and I thought that your channel would be the best place to not only give your audience as well as mine updates on the spiritual war that's going on, but in order to sort of um, support credibility in terms of Leo's provenance of knowledge. Leo is going to share his role in that spiritual war. Leo, did you? And thank you again, of course, Rob, for having us on. I just wanted to make sure I got that he's a changeling, so which is different. So anyway, Leo, do you want to talk a little bit about your actual role beyond just an ambassador?
Yeah. And this has to do with the fact that I cannot show my camera because I take an active war, an active role in the war. I'm commander of several Pleiadian forces, alien forces that are in touch with, you can say, parallel spiritual armies that are human. They are connected to the ones that you know and some of the ones that you don't know. They are connected to TLS, White Hats, WA, also to ARCA, which is less known, and ASN, which is less known. These are the 5 allied spiritual warfare armies. There are, of course, spiritual warfare armies of the enemy, people who are human but are not advocating for humanity's future, as well as several alien invaders that are also here either to harvest humanity or take over their planet. And there are also allied forces other than Pleiadians helping humanity take its sovereign right for this planet and their lives.
Wow.
So essentially, what I'm hearing you describe, Leo, is that in the astral realm, there are spiritual armies from a variety of organizations based here, as well as from other civilizations. And why is Earth, or excuse me, Terra, the parallel Earth in the astral, why is that considered the battleground?
So actually, Earth and Terra are parallel to one another. What happens on Earth usually happens on Terra, and likewise, it's just like a slightly different realm. One is 90% in 5D and 10% in 3D, and the other one, like Earth, is 90% 3D, 10% 5D. So just to understand how it works all together. Now, Terra is also called the bridge because there are 2 ways to travel in space. One is actually 3. One is using the light streams, which are like parts of the galaxy that are moving faster than the speed of light. The other one is faster than light engines. And the third one is using shortcuts. And those shortcuts can either be portals, which are less common, and the more common way is to go through the bridge or Terra, which exists physically um, at the same time in 7 different locations around the galaxy.
Whoa. So is Terra like a parallel reality, Leo?
Yeah, Earth is a constructed reality by Anunnaki, Arcadians, gods. It's hard to say exactly. And it was constructed in order to help humanity evolve in a planet that is more like a greenhouse. Because if they would have tried to evolve on Terra, it would be very difficult, almost impossible.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Wow.
And
Um,
one of Oh, I
go
was just
ahead.
going to say one of the reasons why I've been trying to be so public about, the Pleiadians, Nordic specifically being here, is because, obviously government has their version of disclosure, but any audience member interested in contacting Pleiadians and other benevolent civilizations can through astral travel, and that's how you can, be in your astral body and connect and make contact.
Wow, that's fascinating. Yeah. Where is the spiritual battle mostly, Leo? Is it in the bigger cities, would you say, or is it happening all around Earth? Like,
It happens all around Earth. I'd say 30% of it is happening in space, low Earth orbit, air. The rest is on the surface. And for what I would call the surface is mostly underground. Because
wow,
the main enemy invader that is currently threatening the future of humanity is our nocturnal entities that cannot be outside in the sun.
wow.
So this is literally why I think we need to bridge communities. Like, I'm part of the natural law community, but I'm one of the very few that's open-minded enough to consider extraterrestrial contact as reality, because I'm a contactee before I even met Leo. But beyond that, there's this concept in in natural law of just objective morality, like right and wrong, and essentially the humanity has invited through our collective immoral actions these dark entities into our realm, and that's sort of the heart of the spiritual war that's going on, where these astral critters are coming in, they're wanting to take over humanity's consciousness, and so the spiritual war is very real and concrete, in terms of manifesting here. And the more shadow work that we can do collectively and individually, and the more awareness, I think, that we have of this. I'm sure your audience has had interactions, many of them have had interactions with the spiritual war going on, and we just want to empower people today.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a couple of things to retort with that. So, like with my show, you probably noticed this, Jerry. I have people from all walks of life on. Like, I have conspiracy theorists who don't believe space is real. I have, people who say they've been in the secret space program, Inner Earth, like everything, because I've always felt like that, like everybody has a piece to the pie. Like, or like everybody has like some valid information. But that's another thing we're going to talk about tonight. Some people are putting misinformation, and then some people are putting like purposeful misinformation to deceive people, and we got to like be discerning about that, right? But then also when you talk about the spiritual warfare, like I've experienced that firsthand with like the targeting and the entities at night and during the day, and like sometimes it gets bad worse during the full moon. And you told me, Jerry, that you thought it was only going to get worse, like like there was some kind of targeting. It's gotten better. I felt like really good over the last few 40 days. It's still in my bed, whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's still there, but I have to play constant clearings to try to like, to nullify it, but as far as like me, I don't feel anything on me anymore, you know.
And I want to, credit the work that you're doing on yourself to clear, and the practices that you're incorporating. And, straight up, I told Leo and other Pleiadian associates involved with their spiritual army about your situation, because you are a key figure in the actual disclosure movement. A lot of, like you said, there's lots of other podcasters channels that aren't encouraging actual disclosure. part of the mouthpiece of, government agencies, secret space programs, whether they're aware of it or not, doesn't matter. So, I think the more protection that we can give figures like you with, platforms that like you have, this is very important for light workers to unite.
Yeah, and I just want to thank you guys for trying to help. That really means a lot to me. Yeah, thank you, Leo, and thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it. You know. Yeah. So, where did you guys want to go next? Like, where?
Well, Leo, do you want to pull up some maps? Maybe we could start with Pittsburgh and just kind of show the progression and just sort of explain the maps. And while you're doing that, I want to make clear to you, your audience as well as mine. These benevolent civilizations like the Pleiadians, they're not here to save us. They want to see us empower ourselves and protect ourselves. And so this is part of that process of just owning ourselves,
Yeah,
not relying on big daddy government or some benevolent civilization to save us. Like, we need to be responsible for our own immoral actions of inviting these entities and then kicking them out
yeah,
or annihilating them, both.
yeah.
Leo, did you have anything to add?
Oh, you put up the map. I'm gonna add it right
I
now.
am trying. I'm trying. No, I can. Okay, I can share screen.
It pops up at the bottom of the screen, and I have to add it. You got it.
Okay, so yeah, this is what's going on right now in Pittsburgh. It is updated from today. Of course, the red areas are enemy territory. These are both underground and overground, and they are both on Terra and on Earth. It's not divided here. I can send a better map that shows what's going on underground and overground, but it's only giving you like places where are dumps, deep underground military bases, and tunnel entrances. I can
Wow.
share that as well. So this is the one. Okay, you know what? I'll just present. I just do a share screen.
And while you're working on that, I think we need to make clear that because the parallel Earth, the bridge, the Terra, whatever you want to call it, is so close to that of Earth, this is why we're using an Earth-based map to show the astral warfare going on. And, these red areas are corresponding to areas where humans oftentimes are involved with religious, thinking, religion being from the word religare in Latin, to bind. So people who have religious thinking attract dark entities, and that's why you have these sort of like hubs of dark entities, forming citadels and territories. You want to go into this next map, Leo?
Yeah, I can. I can explain. I'll just start in around Carnegie. There was a university there that we found like a very dark cult that was not part of the deep state or anything, just like usual people who likes to hunt homeless people and get them through something like Hunger Games. And they obviously attracted those entities.
And this is substantiated by satanic ritual abuse survivors that talk about how certain groups take part in predating upon homeless people, children, animals, etc.
Right.
Wow.
So what we're seeing here is the map. The white stars are tunnel entrances. Usually all the tunnels are connected to one another underground, and the deep underground military bases are just with the human allied forces that are basically helping them, usually the deep state or the triad.
Wow.
AKA Satanists, or people that are involved in satanic practices or mindsets.
You know what? Like, it was interesting, Leo. My friend Michelle came on. My friend Michelle, she studied under like Jesse Zebatar, and she did like a breakdown of Pittsburgh too. And she found that it was like really under like the city seals and stuff, where it was like really under like Luciferian control, or like that there was a lot going on. So it's interesting. I'd love to compare what she found with what you found, because it would be like mind blowing. It's kind of matching up.
If you can have it and we can compare it, we can try and go into details to what's going on in every place here.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like it's is that why people feel so targeted, or is that why I feel so targeted here, or what's going on? What do you think?
Yeah, you're basically, you know what? I'll show another map. Let me see.
And we don't
Can
want
you
to
show
talk
the other
about
one,
where, yeah,
the
we don't want to talk
progress?
about where Rob lives also on a live. So,
The progress
Right.
one. Yeah, so it's you can more or less where you live. And here this map shows the difference between the 13th of July till today. And the white areas are used to be enemy territories that have been reclaimed by us. And you can see that they used to be very close to where you are. The pink ones are remaining enemy territories, unchanged, and the red one that are more red, these are new ones that they've gained during that month. And also you can see kind of their progress. They start from a small community. Like, for example, I'll take the one that you can see. I don't know if you can see my mouse, I guess not, but there is under the Pittsburgh Botanic Gardens, which is in the center left, there is like a McDonald area that you can see that used to be historical or remaining enemy territory. So they start from that, from actually the McDonald, the actual McDonald area there. And from there, they just expand. So that's how they do it.
That's insane. Like, and like, what do you do? What are we dealing with here? Like, what kind of entities would you say? Like demons, astral parasites, all of the above. Like, shadow people. Like, what are we?
Shadow people.
Aliens? Like,
shadow people.
Yeah. Shadow people, they are named by many names across history. They used to be demons. The ones that are actually doing the possession and you need an exorcist for, these are demons. These are the shadow people actually, not actual demons. So them, sometimes they're called men in black. Usually they are seen in storms, wearing like black hats, and they're all like black. They are also the Slendermans. Um, they are
Jinn.
the reasons, Jinn. They are the reasons for almost every poltergeist. Um,
oh shit!
and, and yeah, they are mostly these are the shadow people.
Wow.
Do you want to, Leo, do you want to talk a little bit about how the astral spiritual warfare translates into the 3D reality through the difference between collaborators and colluders? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we have a few entities that we have identified. They don't identify themselves, and the way that we call them, which is, I can say, that's the hive. Um, it's not something they call themselves, and we divide them into different groups based on their strategy and aggression, and we also divide them into units based on strength. So we have a sentry, which is relatively low and a new entity. The next one is warrior. The next one after that is a hunter. And the next one after that are alphas and kings. The alphas and kings, there is no point speaking about them. They're very strong. They will usually avoid attacking humans. They are mostly our problem. The hunters and the sentries, their main goal is to take over people, slowly feed on their soul energy and lush energy, and from there start to multiply. The ones that are taking over people, once the person is no longer themselves, that's what we would call a collaborator. Now, a collaborator may be someone that kind of let that entity in, or just was in sheer distress and misery in their life, and that's where they go in anyway. The other one, the colluders, they are the worst part because they are collaborating with them willingly.
Wow.
Is right now not considered under enemy territory, but it's still there.
Yeah, you're
It's
right. It
just
is. It's like
understand you're referring them, and then imagine yourself brutally mutilating them, killing them. This scares them sometimes away for good. That's one way to do it. They already know that humans are very aggressive kind of species, so it's not like they would think that you're bluffing. And the other one is to make yourself as mentally balanced as possible, avoiding any loose energy so you cannot feed them. They will
They need to examine, any sort of traumas of their past, childhood wounding, etc., healing those wounds so that they are spiritually strong, and not vulnerable to these attacks and to these intrusive thoughts that may come in. Would you agree with that, or?
yeah, in a nutshell, yeah. They used to harass humanity since its dawn. They have never actually physically invaded until 2019, but they were always around us.
see,
Um,
in my case, it feels like someone was like
that's about how people can, you know, dot 3 out of the 4 corners of their mirrors to prevent, portals or whatever, having selenite balls, spheres, stuff like that too.
yeah.
Leo, did you want to show an updated map of what the spiritual war looks like in the US, since there's a lot of folks in the audience that are from the US, and it might be helpful for people to see the general sort of like, status of the war?
Massive deep state operation, and while there are shadow people there, they're not as much as in the red areas. Now we divide the colors are based on 5 categories. The first one is spiritual warfare. The second one is control of militaries. There are the religious communities that are not so aggressive, and the religious communities that are most likely to collude with the enemy.
What I really appreciate, Leo, about your information, and again, Rob, thank you so much because for having us on, because like I've only been podcasting for about a couple years, and I'm still kind of I don't have the reach that you have, so I'm so grateful that you're.
Well, okay, I got something to add. What about the data centers, Leo? Do you know anything about that? Why are they trying to put these data centers in? And like, I mean, like, is there like a more? I mean, they're already bad on the environment, but is there even a more nefarious purpose? Like, so for example, like Sonia Testerman came on my show, and I actually made a short out of this, and I put it on my Instagram. She thinks that people are actually they're building to get the data centers to actually for the negative forces to like reincarnate people, and when they die they'll actually get reincarnated into a data center. Now I'm not saying that, she said that, but like are there like a more nefarious purpose for the data centers? And
Allied with humanity, which means there are worse proxies out there, and they are among the good proxies. It just kind of tells you how ambiguous this whole thing is.
What is a proxy, Leo, for those that aren't aware of that terminology?
They are secret societies or orders which has the power that will be equivalent to 4 or 5 countries at least. They usually monopolize a certain aspect of life as well.
And so, as a sort of Pleiadian military figure slash ambassador, you've already made contact with various groups or secret societies slash proxy slash orders, and so that's how you're getting this intel.
And like Leo's talking about, like the hidden forces that we don't see, like the aliens, the entities, you know what I mean? And there are groups that work with those entities, you know, and it's not one sect of people. So I mean, I see that a lot in the conspiracy community now, that like this one sect of people is getting like a brunt of, like, you know, a lot of, you know, like, you know, stuff. But like, you got to remember that it's, you know, like Joanne said, she said correct, Rob. Yeah, like it's never control and power. Like for example, like Elon Musk has trillions of dollars. Like, he bought X, great, that was great. But like, why isn't he helping humanity? You know what I mean? Why isn't he helping the homeless? You know, you got to think about that. Like, if someone has trillions of dollars, why aren't they helping the homeless? Get, like, our veterans are on the street, like people who fought for our country.
If he
Yeah.
gets that money out of everything that he owns, it would be summed to a mere millionaire.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Now, regarding the Norse mythology, and it is about torturing animals or children in masses until it breaks the fabric of reality.
Oh God, that's horrible. That's
And
insane.
and so Epstein, in order to break reality between the 3 and 5 dimensional realms, did it through, I think the figure was like 1,500 children simultaneously,
No, it was
and that there's entities involved in it. Can't cherry pick your evidence from that one witness, and there are several across eras, locations. So
seal them without the rescue operation. They used to say at the beginning that it's all a movie.
since obviously you're going to get attacked during this live,
I'm fine. I feel great. I'm not
awesome.
getting attacked at all. I mean, but
Okay,
I
good.
am going outside. That's a good idea. I'm gonna have a smoke. But I mean, and I want to smoke a joint. So like that's a really good idea. Thanks. Yeah, because it's late. It's time to smoke. It's time to chill out and smoke. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
let's
sure.
do that, and we can go a little bit longer. We can hang out for a little bit. And when I say joint, guys, I mean tobacco. You know what I mean? I don't do any wacky tobacco. So yeah, let me here.
No
And
crack yet?
and for those that are familiar with SRA survivors like Kathy O'Brien, she has specifically said that she was not allowed to partake with marijuana while she was in MK Ultra. So there's a reason why there's this sort of push to have people take marijuana because it helps with deprogramming.
Yeah. I'll be ready. For switch to go outside.
Okay. I guess while we're transitioning, I can speak to what Leo was bringing up with regard to. There was a question from Enika about like how do we know if we're compromised? Oh, do you want to talk about this map first, Leo?
I brought that up before I go outside. I figured I thought it would be important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can talk about this one. This is a more detailed on what's your role in life and how dangerous places are. So if you're just a listener, you're not an active um, part of the community, which is fine, you're still a light worker, then there are different safety regulations. So dark green safe, grass green safe as well, yellow safe as well. In the orange ones, you should be careful. On the red ones, it is going to be unsafe for a podcaster. The of course the dark green is always means it's safe. Now safe, but just remember you're a light worker and you are attracting attention. So be vigilant no matter what. In the yellow areas, you should be cautious. If you're a leader, for example, Rob is a leader because he has an audience. So he's not just a podcaster. And a leader needs to see those areas a little bit differently. So, for example, the state that he's living, he is considered unsafe for him, but it's not yet dangerous. For a fighter, which you be soldiers or remote viewer or someone who is actively part of certain groups in orange and red states, they need to basically evacuate.
Um, so, with regard to compromising, like you said, like anyone can kind of have that experience. And how does one know? Well, I would add that, like, if you're having a lot of intrusive thoughts, that you suddenly become aware these aren't my thoughts. Like, and then you start. Go ahead, Rob. It looks like you're muted.
I was going to say that's definitely an entity. That's definitely what they do. They try to get in your mind. Like you have to have a really strong mind when you mess with these things. Like, and it's not that I want to mess with them. I'm just like telling you, like I've had to deal with this on and off for like 2 years. You know what I mean? So like the amount of like mental insanity that I've went through is actually like, I don't think some people could take it. And I'm not saying I'm special. Manipulate your mind in every single way. And you have to really question yourself because it'll make you think things. It'll make you think things about your best friend. It'll make you think things about, they cause like extreme paranoia from my experience.
Yeah, and that was also mine. And
All the difference.
oh, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
because I get clearings. I have a lot of friends who are healers and they do clearings on me and I can clear myself. And when I get clearings, you can feel the difference. You feel the lightness come off. I mean, you feel the heaviness come off, and you feel a lot lighter and you feel more clear headed. And then you realize that those thoughts are like definitely not yours.
Yeah, and there was a question in the audience, how do we flip the spiritual war so the dark is defeated? Well, the spiritual war is within each of us through healing our childhood wounding, through our traumatic programming, through being aware of it, through being aware of the weaknesses in our armor. We become less vulnerable to attack, to these intrusive thoughts, to possession. And so just being aware of that, being aware of our infinite potential as spiritual beings, and having a physical experience, and then just, yeah, like we don't want to, of course we appreciate all that the Pleiadians, the Nordic people have done to support humanity, but at the same time, like we should really, as light workers, be doing this work ourselves, and so this is a part of that.
But there is another part of it that you should join forces with other light workers, start identifying those creatures, start telling people that they're being directed by a nefarious entity. Help as much as you can. I used to be active in forums before this whole thing became public knowledge. And a light worker that is an empath or a remote viewer or a healer can do exorcism. It's just about going into someone's house and removing those entities. The more you make them feel uncomfortable in places that they have started invading, that's how we kick them out eventually. Eventually, they will tire out and move to the next place. Um, it's inner work, but it's also helping the community.
So on that note, I never actually told you, Rob, so I guess I'll just tell you now. When I found out that you were being spiritually attacked, I performed an exorcism remotely for you.
Wow. Well,
That's how we
thanks.
got so much intel on your situation.
Yeah.
And so the more that people can do that for each other, but also being aware of the risk. And so if I'm exercising something from somebody else, that means I'm taking it on. So, have to take responsibility for our choices in the war as well, and just now I have this entity attached to me. Now what should I do about it? And so that's it's you have to sort of I had just come out of kicking an entity out of myself, and I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm strong enough to handle somebody else's. And it was a hard won battle the second time, and it might have been not the most
Yeah.
well-advised decision at the time, but I'm glad that through working together we can heal and help and support each other, so that ultimately we're not alone here and we're stronger together.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat, what are the purple lights around roads that when you travel, they are there in order to prevent the hive or the shadow entities to take over travelers, or use the electric grid to travel, because they travel through the electric grid.
That's what my friend Renetta said, who died. My friend Renetta Jones, who used to come on my show. She told me that too. She told me to just never sleep with your electronics on. She said they travel through like the electricity. That's insane that you said that. Like, yeah, that's what she told me as well. That's so like, is it good to just like sleep in a room with no phone, no computer, no TV, no Wi-Fi?
No, it's not helping anymore. You should just put ultraviolet light there.
Mm,
Unfortunately, the 5G changed the picture, and they can now travel through the 5G towers. They were even initially constructed to prevent them. They thought that high electromagnetic radiation will hurt them, only they are totally immune. Actually, they're using it.
yeah,
So, and this lines up with my personal experience. I was trying to do some ancestral healing, and I was in this shamanic ceremony session, and there was a lot of like poltergeist activity during it, where like I was by myself in an office, like the door was shaking, like and I thought someone was at the door. There wasn't. And then all of a sudden, when the ceremony ended and we had all these like visions in the astral, like there was this giant explosion sound on the electrical wires right outside my house when we ended.
that's insane.
Um,
Holy shit.
That's when they
so
travel in groups. That happens.
so they're definitely going. If you're a light worker, you're gonna attract darkness.
Yeah,
It's part of the role.
Don't be afraid. That's it. Just, if you're not afraid of them, the way their logic works is that if something is not afraid of me, maybe I should fear it. And that's good.
Shout out to my friend Enika, our friend Enika, in the chat. She's taking the equivalentics class. Leo is teaching equivalentics. We have some classes posted on the NGT channel, which I'll post again. But equivalentics is a simplified form of quantum mechanics that helps people understand things like remote viewing, interstellar travel, etc. If anyone wants to learn that, you can check out our YouTube channel at Narrow NGT.
yeah. You know what's so weird about her? Like, I know her. Like, she'll probably tell you she used to hang out in my old channel. Like, I remember her. Like, I remember her face, and I remember that name. Like, I remember her being in the old group that was on my old channel. But like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know if she remembers. Like, she used to come to some of the shows. Yeah, like, I don't know. I think so. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people that we attract in our personal lives. I mean, I for one feel like I'm constantly meeting light workers. Like I just
Yeah.
sense it. Like they're just I attract I attract Pleiadians. Honestly, I've met a lot of people here that have ties to them. Just saying.
And it's a beautiful night out tonight. I would say I have a flannel shirt on and a pair of shorts and I like and sandals, and it's like I would say it's like maybe like I don't know. It has to be like 60, 65 degrees. The wind's blowing a little bit. It's like it's not hot, too hot. It's not cold. It's just like perfect. Holy shit.
Aww.
It's a really nice night.
And this is inspiring, Rob, that you're doing this on your shows, because we need to get outside of our desks, out beyond, in front of our computers. And the more we can go outside, be in nature, and also just, yeah, like interact with each other in person as much as we can too, which, we did that show and that was so fun to meet you in person.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
You know what? I've been working out now for like 2 weeks. Like this is crazy. Like I got blood work 3 weeks ago, and like my triglycerides were high. Not cholesterol, I guess my triglycerides. And then all I did was like I kind of watched what I ate, excuse me, and then I like would like walk like 5 to 7 miles a day because I used to be an avid runner. I used to be in really good shape. I used to run like 5 to 7 miles a day, but now I do that with walking. Well, anyway, after walking for like straight for 2 3 weeks, like I got my blood work done again. My triglycerides went from 300 to 96. Like so,
Aw.
it's like you can heal your body. Like it's, I think the body has an amazing way to heal fast. If you're doing drugs or you're doing something bad, you can like stop and you can heal your body like quickly. I don't know. I mean,
I think that's great, Rob.
yeah, like have you ever heard have you guys ever heard other stories of people like, doing something like eating bad or whatever, and then they change it up and like their body heals like, like I've heard other stories like that, like where I think our bodies are like amazing, you know?
Yeah, so I work at a plant-based school, Solid Rock Community School here in Florida, and I have a coworker who had some cardiac issues, and once they went on a plant-based diet, their entire lab work changed. All the cholesterol issues, all the just various sort of lab work levels changed dramatically. They were, and I'm not identifying them, so I think I can share this. They were at risk for, I think, type 2 diabetes at the time, and that's completely gone away.
Well,
And stepping back and big picture, I understand, some people might have cultural or biological reasons for their diet, but what I will say is this: the more people eat a plant-based diet, I'm not going to be religious about it, the less harm we inflict on other sentient beings, such as animals in captivity, the more good karma we can benefit from, including physical health.
yeah, yeah. I'm starting to really believe that, My friend Michelle from New York, she lives in a van. Like a lot of people are doing that now. They're living in their vans in New York and stuff. Like anyway, so she has her house. Her house is like her van's transformed into a house. But anyway, she's vegan and she's always like getting on me about being vegan. And it's like, seriously, I'm like pretty close to vegetarian. I'm like, I'm pretty close. Like, like I, yeah. I don't want to say I've made the switch completely because I don't want to lie, but like I'm working on it for sure, you know, like
And just about it, like I'm all about harm reduction. Right? Like I'm not going to convince the entire world to go 100% vegan, but what I can convince people is, consider eating more plants.
yeah.
So, anything else to add, guys, on this idea of how to empower light workers in the audience against spiritual attack and stuff?
I, um, I can't think of anything. Um,
Well, contact us if you're being directed. Um, we can help on a more like personal level, even sending forces in the astral realm. It's what I do. And now it is important to understand that once you fight back, they are going to increase their hostility towards you. So it's not always about making them afraid of you, just uncomfortable around you. Because when you take an active stance, things will get worse. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be afraid. Kind of just balance your life with it. If you are being attacked more aggressively, you need to start learning how to do spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
To kill them, that's only going to be in the 5D or with radiation, not solar, like nuclear, which you don't have
Wow.
access to.
So these things aren't easy to kill. They're like you can't like zap them if you have like astral powers. Like you can't like use your astral powers to overwhelm them.
You can only keep them away for a short time.
Okay, yeah, that's probably about the experience I've had. Yeah, because I was wondering about that. Why I can never kill them, but I can like kind of keep them at bay, or like I can. I've learned one thing like about this whole experience is that like I've learned how to move energy, and I can send energy too. If someone wants energy, I can send energy, and if energy's put on me, I can move energy because in my case, that's what it was. It was like an uncomfortable energy that would just kind of land on me, like, and then at times, like it felt like an astral insect. Like it was weird. Like it like transformed into many things, but like yeah, like most of all, it was like an energy that would just attach me. Like I never saw a demon, I never saw a shadow, I never saw a ghost, I never saw anything. All I heard, I just felt energy, and it feels uncomfortable, and you have to learn how to move it, or and it won't go. And you can say Jesus, it doesn't help. I'm not dissing Jesus or anything. I'm just telling you with the facts. Like, like I mean, I think it helps a little bit, but like again, it's like I don't know. These things are nasty. Well, at least the ones I've been dealing with. I'm walking. That's why my yeah. But I mean, yeah, these things are nasty for real.
Jesus was probably fighting them too.
And I noticed that there's some this is common amongst religions, right? This idea of externalizing one's infinite potential, divine connection with source God creator, outside of themselves through figures, deities. And one thing that I've been really stressing with this alliance between humans and Pleiadians is that so often is the case that humans are just ready and willing to worship an entity that they don't understand or they think is like whatever higher than them, and like okay, well, yes, overall collectively the Pleiadians are more advanced, but we're not here to worship or create a cult here. If anything, we want to empower people to again see the infinite potential within each of us, the divine connection within each of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think the more the people empower themselves and the more people unite, I think the better we'll be. That's why like I really like that you're like trying to bridge communities, Jerry, because I feel like I've been trying to do that like with my show, and then I see all these arguments within the community, and it's like I don't know, you know. I just try to get along with everybody, but I mean, I know that like I've had issues with people too, but it is better if we could try to unite, like honestly, like. But I know people will tell you that's hard because like some people just don't want to, they have issues with other people and they don't want to squash that. I don't know what it is, you know. But I mean, yeah, it's weird. That's kind of what I've noticed in the community, you know.
Well, and then, looking at it from sort of childhood wounding space, why are people arguing? Well, there might be some sort of pattern within their past that's been ingrained through generations that they're acting out, and just being aware of those patterns and correcting them. This is why shadow work, changing the behavior that's been ingrained, is so important. And, one thing that going to your point, Rob, about cross community building, the way I sort of apply natural law to the spiritual war, with these off world entities, is the more objectively moral we behave, the more freedom we can experience as spiritual beings, against these entities.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this was a great show. I thought this was awesome. Yeah, let me here. I'll remove the map so you guys can. Hold on. Let me. Uh,
So Rob is doing that. Leo, did you have anything to add on any of these points that we're making, or?
Yeah, just one regarding following blindly on faith. It is a bit dangerous, especially if you're following a certain deity. That's how they take over churches and priests. They don't mind lying to you,
yeah.
and they show up as Jesus or an angel and tell you to follow their creed. So just understand that any of these deities will not tell you what to do. And if they do, they are not deities. They're not gods. They are those shadow people.
Wow.
And this is why I broaden the word religion again in Latin, religare, that which binds. And so religion, whether it's in a Judeo-Christian or whatever kind of religion, is the externalization of one's sovereign sort of internal power, externalizing that. Like, we have to sort of bring it back in and realize we are infinite potential, powerful spiritual beings having a physical experience. Like, that's what it really boils down to. We're already connected with divine source, God creator. We're within and without. And so, seeing that connection is so important. And it's part of how we protect ourselves in this spiritual war, by not externalizing that power
Yeah.
in man-made authority.
And
Absolutely.
regarding the different controversial information or cross information that people argue on the accuracy of different things, there is a belief system that we doctrinate, Pleiadians, I mean. It's believe everything until proven otherwise. Some things will not make sense because they contradict others. Now, it can be for many different things because truth has many faces and it all depends on perspective.
Yeah.
And other stuff like, let's say someone is contacting specific group of aliens, and that specific group of aliens is not very honest, telling you part of the truth, sometimes even lying. I'm in contact with all of these civilizations that are helping humanity and are giving contradicting information. Sometimes they choose to lie, and as much as I don't like it, I also understand why they do it. They do it because when they tried to go with 100% the truth, nobody would listen. And when they went with 30% the truth and the rest just stories, everybody started listening. So, it's sometimes they just don't have a choice.
And I understand that there was a decision at some point. Well, we should not, humanity should not know this information, because if we share this information, if we say the word war at all, we're going to open humanity up to more attacks. Well, guess what? This audience most likely has already interacted with these beings. They already know what's up. There have already been contactees. Those that want actual disclosure, go and experience this stuff yourself. Go start traveling when you're asleep. Work on that. There's the wild technique that you can work on for out of body experiencing. So if people want to look what that is, we're not telling you what to believe. Go experience it yourself. That's what real disclosure looks like.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess we'll finish there. Yeah. Did you guys have any final words or?
Just gratitude to have you as a friend, Rob and Leo. I'm just so grateful that you both are in my life as just part of my spiritual family. And I just want to thank you, your audience, for listening and considering this information. I find it sort of creates a sort of like, again, gestalt sort of view of like what we're dealing with. It pieces together seemingly disparate elements. And so, yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. I thank you guys. This was awesome. Leo, do you have any final words before we go?
Yeah, just thank you for having us on the show or being open to what we say. Thank you, Jerry, for arranging it. I know it was probably not very easy to kind of fit with all of our schedules. We're all very busy people, and Jerry made it happen anyway. And it's amazing to work with both of you, an amazing audience, very smart questions in the crowds. And the one last thing is that if anyone needs more detailed help or aid understanding specific things on spiritual warfare, they can always contact us. I am using the same name in Telegram, and while I'm not very active on my YouTube account, on Telegram I usually answer very fast.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. And Jerry, final words?
Yeah, so let's talk about our Telegram handles. Leo, you're at NZ1 underscore NZ6. So I'll put that in there.
You can just
Leo.
look for Leo Vance. Just look for Leo Vance.
Okay. And I am at, I don't even know what I am. I think I'm NVC or something. 114.
NVC 114.
Yeah. So I'm at and yeah, thank you again, Rob, for having us.
No problem.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
this was
Rob.
a great show. And all right. And I'll see everybody tomorrow. And thanks, Leo. Thanks, Jerry. Good night, everyone.